morning, beloveds. Okay. Camera angles. I am not sure I'm awake yet. It is my day of rest. Therefore, I got up with the 8 o'clock alarm instead of the 6:30 alarm. And I got my hair cut yesterday, so it's all kinds of... yeah. All right. It was great fun, though. Okay. It is December 8th. It's another one of those titles. I don't always enjoy these, but it is what it is, right? Okay. So we'll see what I have to say. It is December 8th. The title is How I Found Health. Our author is Myrtle Fillmore, published in Unity, 1897. Myrtle and Charles Fillmore were the founders of Unity. So, all right. How I Found Health. I have made what seems to me a discovery. I was very sick. I had all the ills of mind and body that I could bear. Medicine and doctors ceased to give me relief, and I was in despair until I found practical Christianity. I affirmed my beliefs, and I was healed. I went to all the life centers in my body and spoke words of truth to them, words of strength and power. I asked their forgiveness for the foolish, ignorant course that I had pursued in the past, when I had condemned them and called them weak, inefficient, and diseased. I did not become discouraged at their being slow to wake up, but kept right on, both silently and aloud, declaring words of truth until the organs responded. And neither did I forget to tell them they were free, unlimited spirit. I told them that they were no longer in bondage to the carnal mind, that they were not corruptible flesh, but centers of life and energy omnipresent. Then I asked the Father to forgive me for taking its life into my body and using it so wastefully. I promised God that I would never again retard the free flow of that life through my mind and my body by any false word or thought, that I would always bless it and encourage it with true thoughts and words in its wise work of building up my body temple, that I would use all diligence and wisdom telling it just what I wanted it to do. I want everyone to know that about this beautiful true law and to use it. It is not a new discovery, but when you use it and get the fruits of health and harmony, it will seem new to you, and you will feel it. You will feel that it is your own discovery. All right. Come back over here. Cat's over in the hoop skirt. All right. There's a very important line in here that I want to go back to, and then we will go back, and then we'll tackle the rest of it. I did not become discouraged at their being slow to wake up, but kept right on, both silently aloud, declaring the truth until the organs responded. Okay? I did not become discouraged at them being slow to wake up. Healing and health are... they're one of those topics, like, I'm fine with prosperity because I believe prosperity is a wide range. When it comes to healing and health, it's a wide range as well. And everybody has this idea of what healing and health is. And we can press our ideas of healing and health on other people, okay, who are having different experiences than we are. I remember a friend of mine years ago doing a talk, and in the midst of the talk, and it's public, I mean, so I'm not telling any stories that I don't have permission to tell. His father was in the hospital, and he was praying that his father would walk out of that hospital. And then his father died. And he came to the realization that his father did walk out of that hospital, just not the way the family expected. And so that's what you have to bear in mind when you talk about healing and health. Okay? Death is a healing, you know? And sometimes, when we see people who use like mobility aids to be a good example, that is health for them. And we need to be willing to let that be. Okay? We need to be willing not to run over people's experiences. We need to, and I say that, you know, and then we also need to be willing to let them on their journey. You know, that's why I went back to that line of not being discouraged when our organs are slow to respond. The interesting thing is, and this is why I can get weird about this topic, I'm actually really healthy, but I have a couple of challenges that I manage. And if I could pray them away tomorrow, I'm not sure that I would. I'm not sure that I would. Because they're part of who I am. I, for the most part, do what I want when I want, which for me is health. Now, do I enjoy those days when the pain is really bad? No. But that's one where I'm going to take a page out of Myrtle's book and not berate specifically my knees. In my case, it's my knees. Lately my ankles have been a little weird. You know, I don't yell at my knees. You know, I don't. I'm like, okay, you know what? But I do find that on days that I want to go and do, I do try and speak more kindly to them. It's like, hey, you know what? I have this to do. Can we work together today? Can we work together today? And that's what she's talking about. She don't get discouraged. I'm going to freely admit that I have let myself fall into what we call race consciousness. So there's two ways that I've fallen into race consciousness. One, I'm a postmenopausal woman. So I've had some of those challenges, not all of them. Some of them, I just, you know, I was like, you know what? I'm not going to put up with that. And I've been very lucky that I haven't, for the most part, put up with that. Maybe because I made choices beforehand that helped to prevent that. But in my family, we have these things called cook and broed knees. I heard it all my life growing up. And cook and broed is a family name. So, and everybody in the Cook and Broad family, whether we bear that last name or not, we all have the Cook and Broad knees. And I let myself fall into that. So, you know, and yeah, people are going to come up to me and say, well, you can just, yeah. But it is a deep-seated belief that is so deeply rooted down into my subconscious that I've got work to do. Am I willing to do it? Yes. Am I maybe a little slow picking up the work? Yes. But I'm working on it. That's where Myrtle's like, don't get discouraged is very helpful. And her life centers. Now, I'm not going to go to God and say, you know what? I'm sorry for wasting. You know, I'm not, because I don't feel like I have been wasting the life. What I feel like I have been doing is not paying attention. And so now I'm paying attention. So now I can go to my life centers that are not behaving the way they are. And it's a let me put it to you this way. So one of my teachers made her transition this year. She has gone to the Summerland. And she used to do this beautiful meditation. Actually, she did a lot of beautiful meditations, but there was one in particular where she would start out with she would lead you up through the chakras, and she would tell you to give them a spin. And that's what that's what I thought of when I was reading with Myrtle, where she would say, I'm going to go to the life centers, and I'm like, so, I could set aside a little time each day, and I could go to all of the life centers where they're not functioning optimally. They're functioning optimally for me at the moment, but if I need a little bit more out of them, then I can go to each one of those life centers, and I can look at that life center, and I can give it a spin. I can give it a spin. Because when you spin things, they brighten up. That's what I always thought of. There was some toy growing up that if you spun it, the light would get brighter. I don't remember what it was. So I can sit down on days that I need more out of my body than I typically get. And I can sit down and I can give the life centers in each one of those places a little spin. Now, the heart chakra is the heart. And, I spin that one a lot because I have heard the stories of my family, and I'm not going there. I'm not dealing with that. I try and give my brain center a little extra spin too, for much the same reason. It's like, I got stuff to do. I got to keep these two organs healthy. Had I thought about doing that for my knees? No. Had I thought about doing that for my ankles? No. But I have now, thanks to Myrtle Fillmore. So, and she also reminds us that whatever our problem is, where do we go first? We go first to God. We go first to Spirit. We go first to, at no time did she say not to. She just said doctors and medicines weren't helping. Interestingly enough, the very nice lady that I work for to pay my mortgage, she had the same issue. She was a nurse in Western medicine, and she hit that point where doctors and medicine were no longer helping. And what did she use to get through it? 1, prayer. 2, a lot of support from family and friends. And 3, she started in the health food industry. So, we're all guided in different directions, and that was hers. So, I'm just going to click back through here to make sure how I found help. And let me go back and reiterate that point of everybody's health is different. There's many ways to health as there are people on the earth. And so that's why I started out by saying, for the most part, I'm very healthy. I just have a couple of challenges. So, people get to decide their level of health. We don't get to do it for them. Okay. Always a helpful lesson. We don't want to ever spiritual bypass or run over anybody's experiences. So we want to hear them out. Okay. I went to all the life centers in my body and spoke words of truth to them, words of strength and power. I asked their forgiveness. I did not become discouraged when they were slow to wake up. Neither did I forget to tell them that they were free and unlimited. I told them that they were no longer in bondage. I mean, have you ever talked to your body like that? That is incredible. That is incredible. And then I ask, I ask God to forgive me for taking God's life into my body and using it wastefully. You know what? I don't feel the need to do that, but if it helps you, more power to you. Now, I am willing to promise Spirit that I would never again, get in the way of the free flow of life through this body, through my mind and my body. I'm down for that. It's like, look, because you've heard me say it. Stop kinking your hose, unkink your hose. It's like you're always connected to the free flow of that power. Most of the time, it's us standing on the hose. So, I would always bless it and encourage it with true thoughts and words in its wise work. Okay? Bless and encourage your body. Whatever state of health your body is in, bless and encourage it. And if I wanted a mission today, that's the one I'm going to take. That's the one I'm going to take.
Surprise.
There we go. The mission today, should we choose to accept it, is to bless and encourage our body temple. To go to those life centers and remind them of all of the things, that they are not in bondage, that they are healthy, whole, and happy. To give them a spin, as Pat would say. Yeah, that's the mission today, should we choose to accept it. And I think that we can get really neglectful of the body, because it's not our ultimate home. It's the vehicle that we live in now. But we do have a responsibility of taking care of it. So bless and encourage it. Bless and encourage your body temple. All right, that's the mission today. The other mission is the same mission I give you every day, which is to do something loving for yourself, do something kind for yourself, do something compassionate for yourself. Whatever that looks like. It is the spiritual practice of self-care. Believe it or not, that's a real thing. And I say that because you can't pour from an empty cup. If you are going to live a life of service, then you gotta have something to pour for, you gotta have something to pour out. We don't want to overfill our cups because we always want to be open to new experiences, but can't pour from an empty cup. Take care of yourself. And that's part of what today is about. It's about learning another way that we can look at and support our bodies. Oops, sorry, swallowed wrong. It's always interesting when my meds kick in from overnight, and I'm just like, oh, yep. Okay, come on, I'm sorry. So, what is the most loving, kind, and compassionate thing you can do for yourself? It's part of what Myrtle was talking about today. Take a deep breath before you speak, especially to yourself. Have you listened to the way that you speak to your body? Are you berating your knees for not working? Are you angry about your feet for not doing, this or, whatever? And Myrtle's telling us that's not working. Why don't we do the opposite and talk kindly and lovingly to our body? All right. And then, yeah. So, and, it's always a good idea to stop and think what's about to come flying out, to give ourselves a moment to respond instead of react. And the more we practice it, the easier it gets. Some of the other suggestions are to take a walk, to take a nap, to take a break, which is the human equivalent of turning ourselves off and on. It is the holiday season, so I'm going to remind you that sometimes the most loving, kind, and compassionate thing you can do is say no. And to remember that no is a complete sentence, that you don't need to say anything beyond that. You do not have to justify why you are saying no. Now, I will also remind you sometimes the most loving, kind, and compassionate thing you can do for yourself and others is to say yes, especially to something that pushes you a little out of your comfort zone, especially when you have a good support network around you. So, practice on yourself. It's important, especially during the holiday season, to practice love, kindness, and compassion on yourself for the very reason that we can let ourselves just go a little nuts during this season. So practice love, kindness, and compassion on yourself. Practice love, kindness, and compassion on others. That's the goal. Ultimate goal is to make everything, to create it to create a habit in such a way that everything you do is loving, kind, and compassionate. So that your first response is loving, kind, and compassion, no matter what happens. Which is one of those reasons why we emphasize the go to God first. No matter what happens, you stop, you take that minute, you go to God, and then you're much more likely to have a loving, kind, and compassionate response. It works. So a couple other things, a couple other loving, kind, and compassionate suggestions that I have for you. you know what? I like to say eat dessert first. And by that, I literally mean eat dessert first. I had, there's a particular type of fudge that I make, and I had one that I wasn't sure what to do with. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to take it to my hairstylist. I'd never given it to her before. And she was so excited. I was like, well, I'm going to have to do this more often. So, you know, because just the glee with which she received it, I was like, wow, you know, and that made me feel good. So she's going to eat dessert first. And I had a moment of joy, because that's the next thing I'm going to talk about. Don't save the good stuff. That's what I mean when I say eat dessert first. Make the occasion special. Don't wait for a special occasion. Okay? And then, like I said, that moment of joy, no matter what is going on in the world, no matter what is going on in your life, you still deserve joy. You're a beloved child of God. You deserve joy. It is a quality of God. Therefore, it is a quality of you. Make room for it. And there are little things that you can do, such as handing, you know, a little tin of fudge, homemade fudge, to a friend of yours, and that you'd never done it before, and let her, you know, have that moment of joy. You also know that this right here creates a moment of joy for me. So, I wish you could hear this purr. I don't know if leaning in will help. The purrs don't translate over the electronics very well. So, all right. The rest of the suggestions are to do something to engage your mind and your body, unless today is your day of rest, as it is mine. Drink plenty of water. Hydration is super important. Your brain works better, your body works better, and your skin looks better when you are well hydrated. And get that early in your morning bright light. I got up a little late this morning, and it's raining, so I did not go out and get that 5 to 10 minutes of sunlight, but I am using the artificial light today and this wonderful to get that bright, to get me going this morning, to reset my circadian rhythms. So, and if you need that extra support, you can Google sun lamps or seasonal affect disorder lamps. At this point, I think you can just buy, that's a 14-pound cat. She's kind of hard to hold for too long in that position. Yes, 14 pounds, I said it. And this orange tabby is a girl. This is Rita. So if you need the extra support, please get that. You do not know how important sunlight is to us. And so when you're not getting enough of it, those lamps can help. All right. I'm going to jump here forward. Where am I? Oh, I'm at that Ernest Holmes quote. Open the windows of your soul. Allow the breath of heaven to remind you that you do live in heaven right here, right now. It's all around us all the time. It's interesting, the burden that recognizing that heaven is not a place we have to get to, but a state of mind takes off of you. Me personally, when I was willing to accept that heaven is a state of mind, it's a state of consciousness, that Jesus came to teach us how to live now, in this earthly paradise, it took a huge burden off. It's like, okay, I can make those choices now. I can live in heaven now. What comes after this will take care of itself, but I can live in heaven now. It's a state of mind. It's a state of consciousness. Once you learn to create that, it was a huge burden off my shoulders. It was mostly because the idea of heaven that I was taught as a child was boring. Did I want to sit up on a cloud with a little lyre and play music and float around on clouds all day? No, I thought that was boring as all get out. I certainly did not want to go there. However, I walked into Trinity Library in Dublin and went, this is heaven. I can walk into the rooms in my house that have, bookshelves that go almost all the way to the ceiling and go, this is heaven. It really did take a huge burden off of me. Consider it. And you can take Emma Curtis Hopkins' advice, look for the good and praise it. You want to create that heavenly mindset? That is one of the ways to do it. So, yeah, I'm not worried about my reward in the next life. I'm trying to make the best of this one. So think about it. All right. Look for the good and praise it. Count your blessings. And random acts of kindness and volunteer service are 2 good ways to change your mood if you need a little extra assistance there. All right. We are Creative Life Spiritual Center, Creative Life Spark. I'm the running Rev Ryan on the social medias that I am on. I commend all of that to you. There's wonderful content on those pages. The Soul Session playlist is a really good one on the Creative Life Spiritual Center page. There's another playlist called This Thing Called You, where that's my favorite Ernest Holmes book, and I read it to you. So, just as I have read you 3 other books, but in that one, there's no commentary. So, yeah, I don't know what I was about to say. So I'm a tumble forward into email info@creativelife.org. That will get you on the constant contact if you want to know what's going on with the center. The hot links are hot. There are, if it says click here now, it'll take you right to the information you want, such as it'll take you right to the Soul Session playlist. So you don't even have to look for it. Just in that email, or to the person that can help you get it. Jessie is starting to teach through home office, and that's really a fun way to take classes, because you get to take classes with all kinds of really interesting people, which is how I got into the Philosophy Fridays, because I took a class with David Lemaster and got to know him and went, oh, this is cool. So I joined his Philosophy Fridays group. Yeah, that's, you'll learn. So, but in that case, you have to click to home office. So person, I got distracted. Sorry. I need to wrap this up. So I'm going to encourage you to have a great day, a wondrous day, a fantastic day, a magical day, an enchanted day, a wonderful day, an awesome day, an amazing day, a go dance in the rain day, a Friday, a pet your fur babies day, a eat dessert first day, a enjoy your philosophy day, a good day. And if that is too much pressure, simply have a day. You are enough just as you are. You are a beloved child of God. You are a brilliant light. You are a divine spark. You are spirit in motion. You are God in action. Or as Reverend Jessie likes to call us, you are a godling. Get to know the truth of your being. Peel back the layers of everything that you have been told you are. By stereotypes, by archetypes, by gender normatives, by society, by culture, by religion, by people that know you, by people that don't know you. Peel all of the boxes and labels away and get to know who God knows you to be. I can promise you that that person is good and probably pretty cool. All right, beloveds, I need to get my hind end in gear and get to work. So I'm going to remind you, Reverend David will be on around 5 p.m. with you. I'll be back with you around 9 a.m. I get to go to the park tomorrow. I haven't been to the park in a couple of weeks because I've been busy. Take care of yourself. Know that you are loved, and I will see you next time.